Chapter 5, Benjamin's Birthday.
Benjamin, the boy who lived on an island on a lake below a mountain, woke up with a yawn and a stretch. He heard the sounds of a busy kitchen. Then, like a flash of lightning, Benjamin jumped out of bed. He remembered it was his birthday. While his baby sister's birthday was tomorrow, today was his day. Wasting no time, Benjamin ran to the kitchen. He knew his mother would be preparing breakfast for the day. As soon as he ran in, his mother said, "Happy birthday, baby boy." Benjamin smiled from ear to ear, his dimpled cheeks showing proudly. His mother scooped him up in a big hug. At the kitchen table in the corner, his father also said, "Happy birthday." Benjamin turned around and looked, and an enormous stack of pancakes was on the table. His eyes turned into round saucers of wonder. "Are all of those for me?" he asked. His mother hugged and kissed him again, saying, "Of course they are. Happy birthday." He wiped the kisses off, laughing as he did. Adeline, his sister, was already eating small pancakes. She yelled, "Pancake!" With a wonderful flurry, the pancakes disappeared over the course of several minutes. Benjamin's mother took the plate and handed Benjamin a box. His father said, "Open it up, birthday boy." Benjamin opened the box, and inside was a round metal compass and a sheet of paper. His mother said, "What did you get?" He held up the compass and the paper, and almost yelling, said, "This!" But then added quizzically, "I don't know what this is." His father smiled, took the compass, and showed him. "Do you see the needle? It always points north. It helps you find your way home when lost. This one was mine when I was your age." Benjamin took the compass back and looked at it. Sure enough, every direction he faced, the needle pointed in one direction. His father said, "The needle points north." Benjamin tested the new word, north, then asked, "What's it for?" His mother answered, "Why don't you read the paper? It'll tell you." Benjamin had started to learn to read on his last birthday. He read it aloud. "Follow the needle north for another present. Follow it to the spring, and then follow it to the biggest tree you can see," he finished with a smile. Benjamin's parents had surprised him with a birthday adventure to the island's north end. "I've never been past the spring before," he said as he examined the compass and the note. Excitedly, he asked, "Can I go now?" His father lifted him from the chair, kissed him, and told him to wash his hands and say goodbye to his mother. His mom reminded Benjamin to come and find them if he needed any help. After kissing his mother, Benjamin grabbed his cloak and compass and headed outside to start his adventure. On the porch, Mr. Cat was already waiting for him. "Happy birthday, Benjamin." Benjamin reached down, pat Mr. Cat on the head, and said, "Thank you." Miss Hound slinked around the corner, her floppy ears bouncing with every step, and said with a howl, "Happy birthday, Benjamin." "Thank you," Benjamin said again. Miss Hound climbed up the steps and sat down next to Mr. Cat. She asked, "Are we doing anything today?" Benjamin answered, "Why, yes, we're going north." Benjamin pulled out his compass, looked at the arrow, and pointed in the direction that the arrow was pointing. He said, "It's time to get going." Together they walked off the steps and around the house, north towards the spring. Right around the corner of the house, Mr. Red Fox tumbled out of a bucket unexpectedly in front of Benjamin. Mr. Cat hissed, Miss Hound let out a short bark, and Mr. Red Fox clumsily rolled to his feet and said, "Happy birthday, Benjamin." Benjamin laughed. "Thank you, Mr. Red Fox. We're going north." Mr. Red Fox responded, "Well, I guess I'm going north too." Benjamin, Mr. Cat, Miss Hound, and Mr. Red Fox walked through the garden and through the orchard into the hayfield towards the spring. From a hickory tree near the field, Mr. and Mrs. Owl called out, "Hello! Who's there? Whose birthday is it today?" Benjamin said, "Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Owl. It's my birthday." Miss Owl said, "How wonderful! Be safe and have fun." Mr. Owl added, "Don't lose that jacket. Snow is coming from the mountains." Benjamin looked across the lake at the mountains. Large gray and white clouds were rolling and moving over the mountains towards the island. Mr. Owl, thank you for the snow. I love the snow, Benjamin said, thinking that Mr. Owl had planned the weather for his birthday. Mr. Owl ruffled his feathers and mumbled something that Benjamin did not hear as he walked further into the hayfield. Benjamin pulled out his compass. He wanted to make sure they were heading north. Sure enough, the needle pointed in the direction they were walking. The hayfield had been cut several weeks before, and Benjamin's father had baled it. Some of the hay bales were under the pole barn, but Benjamin's father had left others in the field. Laughing with every jump, Benjamin leapt over each bale of hay, one after the other, until they had made it to the other side of the field in no time. Benjamin, you hop like a bunny, Miss Hound said. What exactly is a bunny again? Asked Benjamin. The fluffy little creatures that eat the lettuce your mother plants. They have floppy ears and cotton tails and jump everywhere. Benjamin remembered his dad talking about bunnies when Miss Hound mentioned the lettuce. Oh, yeah, my dad says he'll find the Rabbit King one day and stop them from eating my mom's lettuce, Benjamin said, pleased to remember the words of his father. They kept walking past the field and into the small pine wood. On the other side of the pine wood was the spring. By this time, little white flakes of snow had started falling from the sky here and there. Well, we're here. Let me check the compass. The needle pointed north along a freshly cut path. There, Benjamin pointed. That must be where the tall tree is. No one answered. Benjamin heard Red Fox and Miss Hound laughing. Benjamin turned around to see Mr. Cat leaping on the new snowflakes as they landed on the ground around them. Red Fox laughed at Mr. Cat again. He paused before saying, I've met the Rabbit King, you know. Really? Benjamin asked. Yes, he lives in a big dirt mound with hundreds of his kinfolk, replied Mr. Red Fox. Benjamin did not know what a mound was, but asked, Where is this mound? He struggled to say the word properly. Mr. Red Fox opened his mouth to reply, but was interrupted whenever they all caught sight of Mr. Cat running up a small pine tree to chase a single snowflake caught in the wind. The snowflake floundered in the air, looping and swirling with the breeze. Mr. Cat desperately scrambled to try to catch it. Yet, just as Mr. Cat got close enough to get it with his paw, the wind took the snowflake in another direction. Miss Hound howled with laughter. Benjamin joined the laughter when Mr. Cat climbed another tree, only to see that same snowflake wander away once again just out of reach of his paws. A new gust of wind took the snowflake even further from Mr. Cat. Mr. Cat scrambled down the tree and after it. Benjamin looked at his compass. Mr. Cat, he yelled, that's not north. It was too late. Mr. Cat was not going to stop. Better not let him get lost. I know where I am, but I don't think he's ever been this far away from the farm, Mr. Fox said. They ran after him. Miss Hound howled as they ran through the woods. They could see Mr. Cat a few yards ahead of them. He leapt after the snowflake here and there. Benjamin ran through the bushes and around the trees. He jumped over rocks and scrambled over large fallen trees. Benjamin looked up to see Mr. Cat stopped in a small clearing in the forest. Benjamin slowed down and stood next to Mr. Cat. Red Fox and Miss Hound caught up with them and stood next to him. Panting, Mr. Cat said, The snowflake got away. Benjamin smiled. You don't say. The single snowflake was gone, but hundreds of thousands of them were falling from the sky in front of them like a big white wall. Benjamin smiled from ear to ear. If it kept snowing like this, he could build snowmen and snow castles all the next day with his dad. Then he remembered that it was his birthday, and he had to find a present first before any of that. He turned to look back at where they had come from, knowing they needed to find the spring again. Red Fox, do you know how to get back? Benjamin asked. But Red Fox didn't answer. Mr. Red Fox? Benjamin asked again, and he turned to look for him. Something had drawn Red Fox's attention in a completely different direction. Finally, Red Fox answered in a low, tense tone. We have a problem. Benjamin cast his gaze where Red Fox was looking. There, about 50 feet away, on a brown dirt mound, on the edge of a small clump of trees, was a giant rabbit with a brown crown on its head. Other smaller rabbits were standing around him, and more were popping up as the seconds passed. Miss Hound growled, "Benjamin, we need to go, now." The giant rabbit stood upright on its back legs and yelled at Benjamin and the others, "I am the Rabbit King. Who dares invade my realm? Speak now or earn your doom." "King Rabbit? You're the one who eats my mom's lettuce in the garden," Benjamin yelled back. The giant rabbit king became visibly irritated, ears twitching and head bobbing up and down. He spoke again, quite perturbed. "Ha! Invaders, wander into my realm, ignore my questions, and blurt out horrible, horrible lies. Tisk, tisk. Guards, get them!" "Run!" Red Fox yelled. They all turned and ran back towards the spring, as dozens of rabbits sprang from the mound and bounded towards them. It only took a few moments for the bunnies to surround them. Benjamin just kept running as a bunny jumped and bounced off his head. Mr. Cat had a bunny on his back. Miss Hound had a bunny on each floppy ear. Red Fox was running in circles around a bush with 4 or 5 bunnies in hot pursuit. Benjamin did not know what to do, so he just shouted, "Dad, help!" There was a moment of chaos, with bunnies running and jumping all around Benjamin and his friends. Time seemed to stop. The snow froze in midair. Benjamin was about to lie down and yell for his dad again in panic when a sound like rolling thunder washed over the forest. Then Benjamin's father burst through the woods yelling, "Hey there! What is going on here?" Benjamin's dad had a net in one hand and a long stick in the other. He scooped up 4 rabbits in one swing, and with the other hand he knocked several bunnies through the air like golf balls. Another scoop of the net, 4 more bunnies were captured. Another swing of the stick, and more bunnies were flying through the air. There was a great commotion of crashing, smashing, breaking, and barking. The bunnies scattered, at least those not flying through the air or caught in the net. Benjamin watched in wonder as his dad tramped back and forth singing, Bunny King, no more lettuce for the king. Bunny there, flying up in the air. Bunny stew, mother will make some yummy food. Rabbit flee, rabbit go, leave my son alone." After several rousing performances of the song, the bunnies were all gone. Benjamin's father let all the bunnies in the net go except 2. His father looked around and smiled. "Benjamin, you seem to have found the Rabbit King. Why are you here? This isn't north of the spring." Benjamin was embarrassed, but before he could answer, his dad laughed and said, "Don't worry, son. We all get distracted." Benjamin's dad leaned over and brushed the dirt and snow off Benjamin's clothes. "Thanks, Dad." The snow, falling thickly now, was lying gently on the forest floor. "It's getting colder. Let's find that tall tree before the snow starts piling up." Benjamin's father looked at Red Fox, Miss Hound, and Mr. Cat. Their fur was disheveled, and they were panting. "Come on, you 3, he said, returning to the spring. Back at the spring, the father asked Benjamin, "What does the compass say?" Benjamin pulled it out. "North is that way," Benjamin said, pointing to the cleared path. "Okay, let's go." It was a short walk over a low hill with some pine trees and down to a creek that flowed out of the spring. "Benjamin, what do you see?" his father asked. Mr. Cat gasped. "Dad, that's a really big tree." There was a large pine tree towering over all the other smaller pine trees. Its trunk was bigger than 2 apple barrels combined. It had long branches with deep green needles fanning out like giant hands. The very top branches were already covered in fresh snow. Benjamin and the whole group looked on in wonder. Then, terrifying everyone, Miss Hound let out a howl. "I smell something," she said erratically, and began pacing back and forth. "Miss Hound, what is it?" Benjamin said. His father said, "Go, follow her." Miss Hound ran over to the great tree and ran around the whole tree several times. Her tail wagged wildly. Then she stopped and barked several times. "Here, Benjamin," she said, pawing at some loose dirt. Benjamin ran over to the loose dirt. "Let's dig." Together they frantically scooped away the loose dirt. Mr. Cat and Red Fox walked over to see what was in the hole. "Here," Benjamin yelled out. He reached into the hole and pulled out a bag. He ran over to his father with a bag dragging behind him. "Look, it's a bag, Dad. You got me a brand new bag for my birthday." The father laughed. Yes, but what's in the bag? Benjamin hadn't thought of that. He opened the bag and pulled out a new pair of boots. Wow, these look just like your boots, just a little smaller. Your mother picked them out. There's more. Benjamin dropped the boots and dug back into the bag. He pulled out a green hat with some wool lining. He put it on immediately and turned to his dad for a reaction. Your mom picked that out too, but there's some more in there. Look again. Once again, he went back into the bag. He reached around and around, and in the very corner of the bag, he grabbed something and pulled it out. Though he did not know what it was, he immediately knew it was something good. Of course, his father knew it was a slingshot and a toy wooden sword tied together. What are these, Dad? His father kneeled down and untied them from one another. This one's a slingshot. This one's a toy sword. I'll show you how to use them one day, but you got to promise to be very careful with them. Benjamin replied, Dad, I promise. Will you teach me right now? Benjamin was smiling from ear to ear. His father looked around. The snow was falling heavily now, with several inches already on the ground. How about we get back to the porch and show all this off to your mom, and then we can go from there. Sure don't want to get stuck out here in the snow. Come on, everybody. The walk back was brisk. Benjamin's father picked him up so he would not get left behind. The snow had changed the entire appearance of the farm and the cottage. The hay bales already had 5 inches of snow on them. The fruit trees were covered, and the hen house was covered. Mr. Cat and Red Fox had a hop with every step. On the front porch was his mother and baby sister. Well, hello, baby boy. What do you have there? What a nice hat that is. The rest of the day was spent trying on his new hat and boots, eating special birthday treats, and learning to use the slingshot. By dinner time, Benjamin was ready to fall asleep. Mom, Dad, he said from his bed, thank you so much for a great birthday. He yawned and then fell asleep.
Thanks for listening.